Hello. Bounce or I'm cutting it off. Actually, give me 1 sec. I started. Oh my god, okay. Cool. We have a lot going on this morning, actually. Potentially the bounce that everyone's been waiting for, or not. Binance Spot, however, I think has been. Binance Spot nuking, I think, has been probably maybe the thing actually bringing this market down for the past 2 months. I've heard it talked about, right? But wasn't it when Binance founder like CZ, again, I have no real evidence, I guess, but pretty much as soon as he got pardoned and stuff, hasn't the market kind of been nuking since then? I can maybe check the dates, and let's actually see when CZ was pardoned. When was CZ pardoned? However, my point, and I've seen people talking about this more and more, is that, you know, basically as soon as Binance founder CZ was pardoned, the market has been straight dumping. It looks like October 23rd, Trump pardons Binance founder Changpeng Zhao. So October 23rd. So let's take a little bit of a squeak peek at the chart and see what it was doing on October 23rd. It was already, I guess, dumping a little bit before then. However, yeah, I mean, it's been continuing dumping. We set the all-time high back at the beginning of October. And volume very low. Okay, I'm going to talk straight into it, actually. We set the all-time high back at the beginning of October. A couple weeks later, CZ got pardoned. And also, yeah, I mean, the market has been straight nuking. This is where he got pardoned, right about here. Now, what am I trying to say with that? Nothing. Other than, obviously, we have seen Binance Spot, according to CRG as well, that it stopped nuking and Bitcoin magically stopped going down. So people are speculating maybe is Binance like partially or pretty responsible for a lot of this dumping. I don't know. I think it's possible. Do I have evidence? Who knows? This as well. This is pretty big. So Bitcoin at 90,000 last year was a beautiful woman. And then Bitcoin 90,000 today is this woman's not even as pretty as this one. Actually, if I would have to, this is just my opinion, no offense or anything, but if I had to pick which one was prettier, I think I would pick this one. And then also, what the heck is this? So let's move on. But I saw that in the replies. What the heck is going on with that? Bitcoin, be the bottom you want to see. I don't even know what this means, but I just wanted to talk about this before we jumped into the rest of it as well. Iggy Pop is cool. Oh, is that who that is? Oh, it's not a woman. Okay. If you strip away the noise, Bitcoin's behavior is incredibly consistent. Do you see it? So if you look really close here, you see we have these downtrends. And if you really do strip away the noise, look at the indicator as well, the RSI, where we have declining lower lows, but we've seen bounces consistently over the past couple of years, really. Now, really, truly, this is a bounce or I have to cut it off moment. We really need a bounce here somewhere, right? King of Tentacles actually would be even a cooler name. Very cool, though. That's a cool name as well. Am I down with manscaping? Yes. When the cattle realize, oh, sorry, this is the last like tweet that I don't understand before we actually get into the actual content, I guess. He says, when the cattle realize Bitcoin isn't an actual coin, but a computer code they paid for 90K for, it will head to zero. I think that's a joke, right? Because I don't think anyone thinks it's a coin, right? Okay, so let's actually dump into it. So the guy that posted this never misses. Again, we see let me zoom down, 1, 2, 3, 4 touches along this ascending support. And now we're kind of overdue. Are we going to get that bounce or is it all ogre? Truly, this is the moment that it needs to do something. If it doesn't here, it's absolute cooked times 100. And so speaking about that, let's actually look at some of the charts that are showing, people are showing that, yeah, we're actually about to get cooked. Butcher says here 150,000 down to 38K. The top comment actually says this is a goofball chart. All the vermin are coming out from under their rocks. The bottom could be in. I don't know. Also, when people draw these charts, I don't think they actually expect that it would literally go straight down, right? Like, just like it didn't go straight up, there was a lot of sideways and a lot of stuff, and right, these squigglies here, all this, whatever. Also, I'm curious what 38K, what reasoning 38K being a bottom would be from all-time high. Down to 38K would be about a 69% nice dump. So that's actually perfect. I'm actually on board with that now. I didn't know it was going to be exactly 69%. But now that I'm seeing that, let me just do that one more time, make sure that's right. What do you say, 39K, 38K? That's exactly 69%. Whatever. That's cool with me then, I guess. I actually didn't know that that was exactly 69%. Maybe that's how he came to the conclusion that we were going down to 38K. Oh, no, sorry. He said 150K first and then 38K. So he's saying bounce up to 150K first. So what? That would be 150K down to 38K. That is a 74% dump. No way. No shot. It has to be 69 or nothing. So actually, I'm not on board with that anymore. But this chart as well. Philicone on X saying he stands by this chart, and his target is $35,000 to $40,000 per Bitcoin before December of next year. So what he's saying is a year of dumping down to about 35 to 40K. And then I would assume he would say like sideways, sideways chop, boringness, maybe some tiny mini pumps here and there, tiny mini dumps here and there. But then ultimately that would be the best case scenario, I'm assuming, is what he would say. So, and I want to look at one more bearish. I have one more bearish thing I want to look at in a second. Let me see if I can find it. Well, actually, I do want to talk about this. The current U.S. business cycle is still flatlining. And this is something a lot of people have been talking about recently. And not the 4-year cycle. Is this hopium? Is it copium? Maybe. But also it is actual objective data, so we can't like ignore it. But the current U.S. business cycle is still flatlining, but when it begins to expand, meaning readings over 50, which we have not seen since 2022 or about 2021, really, topping out in 2021. Again, I think there's obviously some validity to that. If we go back, you see the last business cycle, the last 2 business cycles, actually I'll make it bigger, the last 2 business cycles where this expanded a lot, also either coincidentally or not, were exactly where the Bitcoin bull markets were. The crypto bull markets were, right? 2018 is when it topped out, and that's when Bitcoin topped out. 2021, right, first couple months of 2021 is right where the business cycle topped out again, the ISM manufacturing PMI, and that's also where the crypto cycle topped out. Does anyone know? I honestly don't really know. Why have we not seen an increase in this in the last 3 or 4 years? Because it makes sense if this really is very not coordinated, if it's very tied to the price of like risk on assets and things like, and Bitcoin specifically, then it shouldn't be a surprise why we haven't really pumped that much, right? Like, why have we not pumped here? Good question. Ricky says, be honest, y'all are on copium. True. That's literally true, actually. That's what we're doing here. We're going to talk about the bullish things only. Just kidding. But Bitcoin just had its worst November in 7 years. And again, this is one of those reasons why David says another downside pump. Probably. Especially, I don't think this pump is, or this baby pump is going to get us back to 100K whatsoever. Not now. As I've been saying, I think early December is maybe the earliest we could actually see an actual recovery. But yeah, Bitcoin just had its worst November in 7 years, recorded its weakest November since 2018, and worst month in about 3 years. So yes, this does come as a little bit of a switcheroo. In the past, this was not as dumpy. And that just goes to show, again, that this year was just not very pumpy for Bitcoin. Specifically, it goes without saying, but I have to say it. Alts have done horribly, so alts have just been in the trash. But Bitcoin itself, really, I mean, we started the year basically where we are right now. Actually, I think we started the year a little bit higher than we are now. Meaning this year, again, is like basically net negative, or like if you made profits long-term holding. Actually, I think there's another tweet I'm going to look at. I don't think anybody, short-term holders specifically, aren't in profit like anyone. If you're a very short-term Bitcoin holder, that's it. Black Friday dumped the market in 2021. Doubts this time will be different. Another possibility. It's something I don't want to shy away from, something I want to talk about. Will it happen? Will it not? Literally nobody knows, right? Joe Doe says he's gooning right now, killing mad time. That's honestly probably the best thing you could be doing right now. Just chill, eat healthy, go to the gym, goon as much as you want. Upside liquidity is also looking good for Bitcoin. Bitcoin could sweep the 88 to 90 level again, but short-term max pain is towards the upside now. So as of right now, that's kind of where we've dumped to. So you see, before we continue with those tweets, yeah, you can see there is a little bit of a bounce. Not very big, but there's a big wick, at least on the day. We're only on a Tuesday. We have actually a holiday next week, so I don't think the stock market's going to be open for 5 days next week. I think it's 3 or maybe 4 days of trading. So this is the last full week of trading, I believe, for this month. And yeah, we still have basically 4 full days left almost, or 3.5 full days. So there's a good chance we get at least some recovery where maybe is again, if we bounce up to about 98 or even 100K, my assumption would be we get like a rejection there, because I don't think we have the strength right now. I don't think we have the demand to just blast back through 100K. We really need to see, I think, the macro. I mean, to be fair, the macro doesn't look that bad. Bitcoin has just been underperforming. Stocks, I'm assuming, are up today. Let's take a look. No, so the S&P is actually down 0.5%. NASDAQ is down 1%. Dow Jones is down 0.8%. So yesterday was actually kind of dumpy as well, but then it kind of rebounded a decent amount. But as you can see on a daily, it's been 2 red days for the S&P 500. So not really bad, but also definitely not good, but just not that bad. Crypto fear and greed index as well is now at the most extreme fear level this entire cycle, and it has been. It's at like 10, which is extreme fear. A path like this for Bitcoin dominance would now be max pain. See if we can smash up the likes to 69. Nice, if possible. Somebody said this live stream is getting them through their shift at McDonald's. I actually really like the thought of that, because I don't know why, but I fantasize about working in a McDonald's kitchen, and soon it might not be a fantasy actually. But I just like the smell of McDonald's. I like French fries. I like chicken. I like burgers. I like dipping sauce. I like to dip my chicken in sauce and stuff. So James is eating McDonald's right now. Honestly, I kind of really want McDonald's. I don't even know if there's a McDonald's close to me though. I haven't found one. I haven't had McDonald's in so long. So yeah, short-term Bitcoin holders are in record-setting losses. Nearly 100% of short-term Bitcoin holders are in a loss. Actually, let me zoom in on this. Is this true? Are we at the lowest ever in terms of loss for short-term holders? At least going back to, no, this goes back to 2014. So there's a decent chance that that's crazy. Yeah, I mean, sentiment is really bad, right? That's kind of insane. Wow. Give me a sec to just look at this. Let's just say it's not looking good for the short-term baby bulls. Long-term baby bulls always win. Jim says, "Go ahead and Google McDonald's near me on stream for us real quick." Let me give you guys my address real quick. That's exactly what I want to do. That's funny though. Fear and greed index is now at the March 2025 level. This is the zone where Bitcoin bottomed and then consolidated for a few weeks. Remember, max fear doesn't mean immediate pump. It means retail will capitulate while whales accumulate. So, yeah, it doesn't mean we're getting a bounce right away, but there's a possibility of a bounce if all of these signals of like extreme fear and being oversold on the RSI and the MACD and the momentum showing, hey, there should be a bounce. Bullish Bradley said, I watched a very optimistic Crypto Crew University video this morning. Q5 is looking solid. Okay, oh, Q5. That's a joke, right? Because there's no Q5. I guess Q1 of next year, maybe? Hopefully? Bounce or I cut it off? Alex Becker says, we'll probably bounce hard here soon. Hard, strong, fast, big, and did I mention extra big? Then everyone will have PTSD and sell the bounce. And then we will have the real bull and leave all non-bull levers behind. Your biggest problem would be selling too early. I really hope that's true. I really do. I really hope that happens. Now, actually, let me take a look here. I want to pull up a couple tweets. So in the meantime, 93. What was I think we did go below 90 overnight, right? Well, we're up for like 5% almost. Yeah, we went to 89. So yeah, CME gap is filled, the scam gap. Let me pull up a couple tweets here real quick. Let's get a sentiment check while I'm looking for this. Is everyone bullish or bearish? Adrian, shout out, big dog. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, I have not been bullish enough, actually. How many times a week do you do cardio? I was doing cardio for like 3 hours a day, a couple times a week on a bike, but now it's quite chilly in the UK. It's quite chilly. Just kidding, I don't live in the UK. Can you imagine? But yeah, I don't do as much cardio now. I should be. Actually, I did some crazy cardio recently, if you know what I mean. Wait, if you know what I mean, though. So yeah, bullish, always bullish, low-key bearish, bullish, giga bullish, sad, riding out the storm, apish, bearish, and hopeless, nice. This is live? It is live. Bullish. Oh, Marty R. I actually recognize your thing from like, you were one of my first like 1,000 subscribers, I feel like. I remember you from like 2017 or 2018. Not bullish enough. Been bullish for years. Looking at the charts counts as cardio. Honestly, probably. It gets your heart racing. I feel like they should do studies on this. When the market pumps a lot and you like get excited and you're like, skipping around your house, texting your mom and dad like, oh, I'm finally going to make it, things like that, or texting your friends being like, look at the charts, and you get really excited. I wonder if that actually does burn calories. Like, is that cardio, you think? I like tend to pace around when I'm like really excited about the market in like actual bull markets. So to be fair, I haven't done that in a couple of years because this market has been very underwhelming. But yeah, that's probably decent cardio. It's like looking at the charts and making money. I feel like that's really exciting. Anyway, sorry, I got distracted. Let me pull up these tweets real quick. Yeah, I mean, that is something to look at. At this point, really, any bounce below 100K is basically, in my opinion, probably a dead cat bounce, right? But I don't know. I just don't see this. I see this potentially changing quickly next month if things really do. Also, keep in mind, if Donald Trump tweets again, like another positive Bitcoin thing, that's a 10, 15% pump on the chart probably. Not long lasting, but... All right, yeah, so these are two. One's like a somewhat bullish tweet, and one is a little bit bearish. Let me get them up here. Make bullish. Every day we eating good. How many bear markets? This will be my third one, depending where we are. Cardio with Elizabeth Warren. Honestly, I don't like Elizabeth Warren's personality, but I've always found her like relatively cute. I think she's less attractive because she's disgusting personality-wise. But yeah, she's kind of cute. I feel like she was maybe cute when she was younger. Maybe, I don't know. Isn't she like part Native American? All right, so Bitcoin slipped below 90,000 last night. Currently below the 50-week EMA, sitting on top of the 20-month EMA. If we close the monthly candle below the 20 EMA, it could be over for the bulls for a while. Yes, absolutely. We're right on the cusp of it being not just ogre, but potentially mega ogre. We're either sitting at the brink of a bear market or witnessing the biggest shakeout in the history of crypto. And really, that's what it boils down to. These are the crunch time moments. This is why I haven't streamed in basically 4 years. And I just started 2 days ago, because these are the crunch time moments. This is really the most important most important moments of this market. This is like definitive. Like, this is either the end and we're cooked for a while, and or it's a gigantic fake out. A lot of people have been selling, and to be honest, I feel like the timeline is extremely 50-50. There's people that are still extremely bullish, and there's people that are Pocahontas. Yeah, I kind of like that. Jamie or James, that's not true. I actually don't do that, by the way. So, I mean, yeah, that's where we are. Let's all rug pull Tyler. But yeah, I mean, I basically just have Bitcoin at this point, so just rug pull Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin's lost the 50-week moving average. A bear market always starts after this happened. Don't bet against history. Again, this so far has been the cycle that has changed everything. This cycle is potentially the cycle that destroys the cycle. We hit all-time highs well before the halving, which we had never done before. We have had a very weird price action bull market, not similar to the past. And so, yeah, this could be the change that people have been saying. You know, what's the meme where it's like, this time is different? People have been saying that sarcastically for years. This could really be the one that changes things. Maybe. I'm going to take a look here actually real quick. What do we got? The US dollar, DXY, is like having a tiny bounce a little bit. How's gold doing? Gold. So this, to me, looks like a dead cat bounce. I feel like this is what a dead cat bounce is, right? For gold. What is the retrace? We bounce about 8% off of the lows here set at the end of October. To me, very likely looks like a dead cat bounce on gold. But it is holding 4K, and it bounced a little bit below. Like, it went a little bit below 4K, but yeah. I mean, as we were talking about it, the RSI was the most oversold that it's been in like 5 years, going back to August of 2020. And what was gold doing in August of 2020? Oh, it set a top, right? So the RSI actually predicted the top of gold back 5 years ago, and did it do the same thing here? Maybe. So what implications does that have? If gold is topped out, what implication does that have for potentially the moon boys, the crypto moon boys? Great question. Bitcoin dominance. This is the second week in a row that it looks a little red, but we still have basically a full week left almost. The entire altcoin market looks like, it looks okay. Not really. ETH is kind of holding 3K, which is important. And really, if we get a bounce here, does anyone have a prediction of if we get a bounce here, where we'll go? My prediction, like I said, is that here in the short term, if we get a bounce like this week, I would say maybe like 98K at the highest, right? And that's meaning like short term, that's bearish. Because if we can't get above 98K, that's not very bullish, right? $98K, 103K, 2 week stochastic RSI plus 1 week Bitcoin. Bitcoin was at 17K 2 years ago. Peter Schniff, KOK says we're going to go back to 100K. 110K this week. Okay. Bitcoin and gold. Yeah, I mean, I hope gold goes up too. I have nothing against gold. It just looks like it's topped out for now at least, right? Worst part of this isn't round tripping yet, but having to endure Peter Sniff's insufferable tweets. I mean, to be fair as well, Peter Sniff talks trash about Bitcoin even when it's hitting new all-time highs. The guy just can't get it out of his mind. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting Thanksgiving. Does anyone have any plans? Ooh, this is a good question. Did anybody tell their family to buy Bitcoin last year or something? And you're going to be seeing them in a week on Thanksgiving, and are you nervous to see your family if you told them to buy? It has been my rule for the last couple years to not talk about crypto at all with family or friends, really, because I feel like nothing good comes of it, whether it goes up or down. I feel like it's just not worth talking about it with friends or family, right? You guys, if we can, let's smash up the likes. If we get to 200 likes, I'm gonna get a new kimono. And if you're also passing through, hit that subscribe. So I'm gonna start doing live streams every day, no matter what, good or bad. So let's do it from the bottom. Hopefully this is like, we just keep going down, and that's when I start this journey, and then it'll be more chill when it actually starts going up. Maybe soon, maybe a long time. Is Lynn Alden trans? I have no idea. My family asked, and I told them to buy. Luckily, they're not baby bulls and have the ability to zoom out. That is really like a very good... one thing I did. My brother recently started investing in MicroStrategy. He probably bought in MicroStrategy 6 months or so ago. Actually, let's pull up the MicroStrategy chart. Because he was laughing about it, but he was like, yeah, I'm like down cataclysmically. Oh man, that's actually kind of crazy. I think he might have like got into MicroStrategy in like June or July. So, ooh. And this was my brother's first time investing in like anything. Like he doesn't have any crypto, but he invested in MicroStrategy, and he's getting absolutely banged. Brewski said, is there a certain time of day that I'm going to be live streaming? Not really. If the market does something, then I'll live stream. I think the market bounced while I was asleep. Otherwise, I mean, it wasn't really that crazy of a bounce, so there's not really a reason to go live if it's like a tiny bounce. It's having a tiny bounce right now, but like not really worth anything crazy. Like let's think of this would be a really good day to have streamed, right? This massive dump on October 10th when altcoins got completely nuked. I think ADA dropped like 70 or 80% in like a couple hours or something. Yeah, MSTR is creamed. MicroStrategy is just looking... My brother was like, Bitcoin's at like 100 something. Why is MicroStrategy down so bad? And I was like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. He didn't really care. Like, my brother's very chill and he doesn't care about money that much. Actually, my brother cares about money probably the least of any person I know. And it's I kind of respect that, right? Because I care about money a lot, and my brother doesn't. He literally spends money on food, and that's it. Like, he does not spend money. Is anyone else like very frugal? If my brother had like $10 million, do you know what his lifestyle would be? He would still go to work. He'd come home, have a couple beers, play some video games, hang out with his girlfriend, and that's it. My guy was sleeping. Shout out to my brother, by the way. My brother was sleeping on a mattress, or no, not a mattress, on a sleeping bag on the floor the first 4 months of when he moved into his new place. And then I think my ex-girlfriend at the time like told him, he was like, she was like, can you please get like a mattress? So we ordered a mattress, and it was like one of the ones that's like this thick, literally like barely a mattress. And he slept on that. And then I was like, after 6 months, I was like, you should probably get a bed frame. And then he was like, yeah, I don't need one. So I just gave him one. Yeah, he's very chill. He just like does not care about money at all. What a nice guy. What a chill guy. So shout out to the people that just really don't care about money, because that's a good... I mean, it's important to care about money, but like if you're just chill about it, that's great. Yeah, Comet says, why do you want to start streaming every day, Tyler? You often say you don't want to make crypto videos because it's so boring. So that's actually a really good point. The reason that I want to just start doing it every day is to create a habit. And this is like a really good life lesson, actually. Start creating habits in your life, and then it becomes very easy, and that's how you change your life. Just do things consistently, even if you don't want to, right? Also, to be honest, though, live streaming and reading a chat is more fun than like not, right? Just like recording a video, it's kind of boring recording videos. But like talking and hearing input, I think is honestly just a lot more, just more fun. So yeah, I swear yesterday, I think, yeah, I was streaming yesterday. I'm pretty sure the price was exactly, most of that stream, the price was at like 93.2, like that entire time. And that's where we're just sitting right now. So that's funny to me that like, it's like deja vu almost. Are altcoins up really? They're up 2-3%. Some of these top alts. ETH is up actually 4%. ETH is holding up, I feel like, a little bit better than let me pull up the actual, what is this chart? ETH BTC. What is the ticker for the ETH Bitcoin chart? Am I like dumb? How am I not finding this? Okay, here it is. Yeah, I mean, actually, I guess since April, ETH has been doing relatively better than it was doing for a while. But it's kind of sliding down again, so not great, but definitely, I just feel like it's doing a little bit better, but Tom Lee trying to be ETH sailor. Yeah, Tom Lee's he's pretty cool. I like Tom Lee. I have not gotten the kimono yet. I have to order one. Does anyone have any recommendations on where to get a kimono? I want like an authentic one. Like I said, I'm going to Tokyo next month, so actually maybe I'll just get a kimono in Tokyo. That would be sick, actually. I didn't even think about that. An authentic kimono? So the high today so far, Tom Lee is gay. Tom Lee does have cool hair, actually. And he seems pretty chill. I will say, I always wish I had an Australian accent. I feel like Australian accents are really cool. Also, fun fact, a lot of Australians go to Tokyo and Japan a lot because they're so close to each other. So there's like a big overlap of Japanese in Australia and Australians in Japan. What does one wear underneath the kimono? That's a good question. I feel like maybe like just underwear. Do you need to wear anything else? Sam says, is there any news on why we're pumping? Well, first of all, I guess technically is a pump, right? It's up a little bit. But at this point, it's kind of crazy that this little 4% up move is like the best bounce we've seen since the very beginning of this month. There has been no buy pressure. There has been no very strong bouncing. I mean, if we look back on a daily chart of Bitcoin, has there been any there was it took about a week and a half or so, but at the end of September, yeah, we did run from 102 up to those all-time highs. But yeah, overall, it's been there's been no actual bouncing, really. The last strong bounce we had was back in April. Again, that was from 74 up to well over 100. And then there was a reaction, I guess, back in June. Bounced back to about 107. But what you notice, too, is when you see an actual bounce, you need something a lot stronger than what we're seeing now. So ideally, if we're actually going to see a real bounce, I feel like it would have to be like this at the minimum. Like a strong reaction over the next day or two, meaning in the very short term. I mean, look at this too. RSI, look how oversold we are. Going back to February of 2025, most oversold we've been. MACD on the daily, look at this. This is the lowest we've been since May of 2021 on a daily chart. And no sign of a bounce. The lowest we've been since May. What did I say? May of 2021. That's crazy on a daily chart. And quite literally no sign of a bounce, really. Maybe we're getting one right now, a little one. Obviously, there's a big wick. But it's crazy. It's crazy, right? Where's the bounce? And the two options here, you can make it really simple. Two options is we kind of have a little bit of a bounce this week. Right? Because usually when you have actual reaction bounces, even if it is a dead cat bounce, even if it then rolls over and goes back down for the next couple of weeks, even if that happens, usually you get a strong reaction bounce right at that level. Which again, we're maybe seeing the beginning of one right now, but it really needs to accelerate probably within the next day or two. Longest, it needs to happen this week. It needs to, otherwise it's not really any type of actual reaction bounce. And if we don't get that, then we're just going to keep slipping and sliding until we get some sort of a bounce. Even in the dumpiest markets, even in bearish markets, you still do get bounces. It's just crazy that we have not seen one really, right? It's kind of impressive how little we've been bouncing. But, you know, potentially right now, maybe we are seeing a bounce. A little baby one. Has anyone been buying any altcoins as well, out of curiosity? Jim Cramer has been pretty bearish too, which is kind of the thing. So that's a good sign, I guess. But if Jim Cramer being bearish can't even save the market, then we're absolutely cooked. Oh, nice. Some people bought some ADA today. Nice. Yeah, let me actually pull up that chart. ADA is a good example of it, but there was even better examples. But yeah, let me do the ADA chart. Yeah, this is like, have we ever seen something? I mean, I guess back in February we had ADA went from like 81 cents to 51, bounced right back. This is crazy though. I mean, like what? In a day, that was like a 34% drop. This in a single day was a 60, that's literally double the next biggest bounce in the last few years. Is it coming big? I hope it is. Somebody said they bought some Gaycoin. Nice. Is that a real coin, Gaycoin? It's gotta be. Yeah, I mean, you don't see anything like that. And so what exactly happened? And I've seen people tweet about this and people talk about it. What exactly happened on this day? I feel like something big happened on this day, right? You don't get this. Like this is, I want to show a couple other charts doing the same thing. But ADA absolutely cumstered and dumpstered on that day. Look at this, render. Pick an altcoin. Like give me an altcoin, I'll pull it up. They all did this. I don't think Bitcoin had like as crazy of a, yeah, Bitcoin did not do that crazy type of wick. And ETH did not either. I think Bitcoin and ETH are quite literally the Sol. Oh no, Sol as well did not really have that crazy of a reaction, but literally it looks like everything else. AVAX, completely cumstered and dumpstered, down like 60, 70, 80% in a single day, 70% in a single day. Insane, unreal. Like you don't even see that on other charts. Doge, do you guys remember Chill Guys? Oh yeah, somebody said look at Litecoin. I mean, Chainlink got destroyed that day. Let me see. Yeah, down like 70%. Wait, somebody said let me see Litecoin. No, give me Litecoin USD. Okay. Yeah, Litecoin, honestly not as bad as some of the other coins, but yeah, I mean, Litecoin has just been, well, you know what? I've had people comment about Litecoin a lot, so I want to look at the chart over just the last, oh my god, look at this. This is nightmare. Absolute nightmare chart. Oh my god. Do you see this? Nightmare, nightmare, nightmare. This is all-time highs back in December of 2017. I remember this day. What a day. I remember I was at a gas station eating snacks. I looked at my phone and I thought this is what was going to save me. This is what was going to make me rich, was Litecoin. How wrong was I? I could not have been more wrong about that, which, you know, if I would have known that basically that would have been the all-time high, and this was, it's insane to think about. This is now 8 years ago, and it's just been sideways from hell, basically. Look at this. I mean, we'll put it on a 3-day chart. My goodness, this is just, this price action is, I mean, what is this? What is this? I know, Litecoin was my first big investment. I truly thought like Litecoin was going to be it was going to change the world. Illuvium actually did not have that crazy dip on that day. Let's look at some of these smaller alts. This one did, right? We're just looking for these big wicks. Look at this. Decentraland. Is that project even alive anymore? 85% dump in a single day. Let's take a look at some of these. Yeah, this coin, IMX, Bonk, Gala, Axis, Sand, Fetch did not, but that's because it's dead already anyway, I guess. Caspa, what is this down? This went down 87, 90% in a day. It's crazy. That is insane to me. What did Pepe do? Pepe? No, they all did it. So yeah, I'm just kind of curious what happened to that day. Nobody, I guess, that's the thing with this market, especially with price action. A lot of the times, nobody can tell you exactly why the price did something. Sometimes it is easy, right? Sometimes there is quite literally a fundamental, like a news event that just shakes the market and either pumps it or dumps it, and that can be immediately credited to that. But I would say that's like maybe 1 out of 10 times. I feel like 9 out of 10 times, maybe not that much, but a lot of the times, yeah, it's just like, yeah, I mean, it happened, and a lot you don't have an exact reason. A lot of people have ideas. A lot of people are convinced they know exactly why, but really, yeah, I mean, like Trump, like if Trump tweets, that's one of those very clear, okay, this is why this happened type things. But aside from a tweet, aside from like FTX collapsing or Luna collapsing or like those kind of things, yes, that's why. But a lot of it, we didn't have a big single news event on October 10th that was really like okay, this is exactly why, so like this happened, right? So yeah, the worst part of that dump is that you couldn't buy the lows. I know. So that's the thing. Did I get lucky or was I not? Because I bought ADA at like 29 cents during that really big dump. I scooped it like basically the exact perfect time. Like I bought it, I honestly got some like basically right about here. So not the exact bottom, but like very low. And I mean, to be fair though, the price is not doing well. So did I get a good entry? Yes. But like, has it paid off? Not really, because it still doesn't look good. It's not really going up. So Anand says it was the Core V30 update on October 10th. So explain to me, I guess, why did the Core V30 update cause the entire market, especially, I guess, not even really Bitcoin, but altcoin specifically, to crash so much? Like, what is the exact why? Like, I guess just what is the reason that the Core V30 crashed the market there? Rick says the exchange wouldn't let me buy the dip. What exchange were you using? And also, Sick Boy says, does this market feel anything like another time, like 2019? Not really. I feel like, if I remember correctly, I feel like even in 2019, there was just more bounces. Even if it was like a prolonged downtrend or a bear market, I feel like there was still just more bouncing. Even dead cat bouncing. There was just more of it. I feel like this is just like a very slow bleed that does not seem to want to stop. Every bear market that I've experienced in crypto, or with Bitcoin specifically, has, after every massive dump, pretty quickly, usually, there's at least a retrace up like 50% of that initial dump. Meaning like, so like let's say the price is here, we dump to here, and this is the low. We at least basically bounce back to about like half of that, which would be right about here. If this is where we start, this is where the dump goes to. Usually there's at least, and then like, you know, that doesn't mean that it's the end of the dump. So we go down here, we have a bounce here, and then maybe it continues. At least you have that bounce up to here. And for example, I guess that did technically happen here. I mean, we started dumping like here, went all the way down to here. We did kind of bounce almost like halfway up. And then as soon as we got like halfway up, look what happened, just straight back down again. So if the same thing would be to repeat and we're still just only bearish, then we'd bounce back up to maybe 100K, maybe get back to 100, and then just get rejected at 100K and go down. So, but what that means though is if the market is normal, I guess is the easiest way to say it, then we should be getting a bounce here, even if the bounce just gets erased right away. Cyril said 2019 never even reached extreme euphoria. 2019 really didn't. That was still, wasn't 2019 the middle of that bear market? Anon says, Core V30 update, nodes will be forced to host because of data cap increase. So I guess my question though is exactly why did that affect altcoins so drastically and dramatically? Because the update was like planned, like people were aware of it. It didn't just get updated out of nowhere. What caused it to just dump the entire altcoin market so drastically, like nothing? Like what was that's more my question, is why did alts get completely banged? Do you guys remember BitConnect? BitConnect. That was what a crazy time. I never actually had any BitConnect because even when I was a brand new entrant into the market and I had no money, even then I knew it was like a scam, obviously. I think I even remember making a video about BitConnect and being like, oh, this is a scam. And then I got so many negative comments that I was like, all right, fine. And I like deleted the video or something. I was like, geez, I don't want to get like bullied on the internet for saying, I also don't want to, well, I should have just stuck to it and said, yeah, like it's a scam, right? But GL says, wouldn't Max Payne be crushing the bulls with a crash down to 70K, getting most bulls out of the market, and then bears get greedy, open shorts, thinking it's going to 40, 50K, then traps them and headed to 100 or all-time high? Getting most bulls in the market, bears get greedy. Yeah, true. Getting down to 70 though would be pretty dumpy. Lion says, I got into crypto in April of 2021. I only know pain. Okay, so let's take a look at April of 2021, what that looked like. Oh my gosh. That's pretty true, but you did have a little bit of a bounce, right? So if you got in right here, pretty right at the all-time highs, but a couple months later, you did have a new all-time high. But yes, 99% of your experience in crypto for a long time, if you got in right here, was basically just pain. And actually, yeah, if you got altcoins and you went in altcoins right here, this is the Bitcoin chart. It looks better than altcoin charts. Altcoin charts, especially if you were all in on altcoins, yeah, it's just absolute straight pain if you got in April of 2021. It has been miserable for altcoins since April 2021. This is the entire altcoin market. This is April of 2021. This is November of 2021. We are just basically, with a lot of these alts, you're basically just hitting break even in 4 years. So yeah, not a good time. Not a good time. Yeah, we're going down until the money printer goes burr. True. When is the money printer going to go burr? When is quantitative easing? When does quantitative easing begin? I keep seeing the date that December 1st is when things change, right? I heard recently, actually on Twitter as well, that there was like an emergency Fed meeting. Let me actually look this up. Give me one sec. Let me see if I can find this tweet. So just in as well, Saudi Arabia to invest $1 trillion in the U.S. Okay, that could be bullish. That could be big. We also see the Bitcoin RSI is at the lowest level since February of this year. Technically, it's very oversold. Mr. Crypto and X saying this is basically make it or break it right now. True. We're right on the cusp of just being giga bearish, but we're not there quite yet. Honestly, getting that 50-week moving average weekly close below it for Bitcoin, not good. Not bullish at all, actually. A lot of whales have been buying the dip below 100K, though, according to some sources on Glassnode. Bitcoin price versus number of whales. We've actually seen like a big spike in whales buying Bitcoin when it did go below 100K. And that just kind of raises the question too, right? Like, is it possible that there's a lot of big money and a lot of institutional people and a lot of people that are now, for better or for worse, basically controlling the market, whether it is through the Bitcoin spot ETFs or whatever, however they have like a lot of influence, influence over the market. Is it possible they just want to keep it at or below 100K as long as possible to buy as much as they can? Yeah, it's possible. Max Payne. What if Max Payne was just Bitcoin sitting at 100K for the next year, and then it goes up? But meaning like, let's say that they just scoop up and suck as much of the supply out, get as much of the supply for the cheapest they can get it as possible, before then pumping the market. Again, that sometimes the simplest answer is the right one. And if we really think about it, it's very possible the simplest answer right now is just that there's big money that wants to buy a lot of Bitcoin. They know that the U.S., like for example, the U.S. national debt is never going to come back down. Over 30 trillion, isn't it close to $40 trillion of debt? That's never going away, right? there's one asset on the planet that, for some reason, and I think rightfully so, these institutions are really interested in now as the last 2 years, and that's Bitcoin. So, hey, if they wanted to try to manipulate it around there and keep it there as long as possible. Guys, let's see if we can smash up the likes to 300 and hit the subscribe button if you don't want to get a job and you want to be rich with crypto. Actually, yeah, hit the like and subscribe if you don't want to be poor, if you want to be rich. Yeah, Powell is quite political this cycle. It's true. You guys saw that clip of Trump and Powell like fighting with each other when they had like the hard hats on and things like that. Tracy on X says the reason nobody is sure why Bitcoin is pulling back is because everyone is looking for a single cause when it's actually a systems failure with multiple transmission mechanisms reinforcing each other. What does that mean? Bitcoin ran from 40 to 126K in less than a year on the narrative that Fed Reserve easing cycle plus institutional adoption through ETFs equals a sustained bull market. Okay. Following along, sustained bull market. The market built up about 94 billion in futures open interest, with some platforms offering leverage ratios as high as 1,000 to 1, and that set up a lot of fragility. The trigger was simple. Fed officials reversed dovish expectations completely. The market went from pricing a 90% probability of December rate cuts to just 40%. Let me skip ahead here. Now there's structural vulnerability, the new ETF infrastructure that everyone celebrated because of the liquidity. Now might not be a good setup because of macro narrative being broke, institutions exiting potentially, 1.1 billion in ETF outflows the other day, or for the last couple days. This is such a long tweet. I'm not going to read the whole thing. What this person's saying is textbook deleveraging dynamics in an asset with no cash flows to anchor valuation. A lot of leverage and macro thesis that broke. The person ends it by saying it's not why this happened. The real question is what price level actually clears the market and brings in genuine buyers. Another thing to highlight though too is that a lot of retail is buying, but through the ETFs as well, I would assume. Like the ETFs, I know plenty of older adults specifically that have allocations through the ETFs. So technically retail has been here the whole time. It's just not a lot. Like retail is just like not super excited. Also, we can look at all the metrics of like sentiment and euphoria, things like that. We've had no euphoria this entire run. Like, yeah, let's just pull up the fear and greed index. Have we had any euphoria over the past year? It's basically just been going straight. Actually, the highest that we've seen was back in November of 2024, and that was right after the election. That's when Bitcoin went from about 69,000, nice, to all-time highs, and it kind of went above 100K for the first time. But really, since November and December of last year, the market has not been doing great. I just read a tweet here. Somebody said Bitcoin is going to hit 70K. Nothing you can do to stop it. Okay. I'm curious why the number 70K. Is on so many people's minds, right? Plan C on X says Bitcoin possible outcomes. What do you think is most likely? Best case is we get a bounce at 90K or 92K. Worst case is that we wick down to 70 to 80K and then resume an uptrend. Or he's saying a black swan as we wick down to 50 to 70 and then bounce quickly. So black swan meaning actually we need a strong bounce after that. But then he says here the bearish hopium is that anything below 50K is just not possible or not likely at all. It would break Bitcoin's 16-year mathematical adoption growth pattern, and no serious long-term investor would be or should be cheering for that outcome. So, yeah, I guess actually everyone in the I'm curious. I want to ask everyone here, like, what do you think is the lowest that Bitcoin will go from here on out? And honestly, my answer, I don't even have a number. Does not really pop into my head. I mean, really, I have no idea. First person said 20K. Well, I just want to see what that looks like on a chart. If we go down to 20K. Oh my God. That's what that would look like. So if we zoom out and look at a weekly, this is what a 20K. Sheesh. 69K, nice. 69K, nice. 69K, nice. We got 3 69Ks, nice. Oh, another 69K, nice. Another 69K, nice. 70K, so close. 69 420, nice. Double nice, actually. But that's what a 20K. Or I don't know. If we went down to 20K, do you think anybody would want to buy Bitcoin? I mean, I would still, but that's because I have an addiction. 69K, nice. 69K, nice. 69K, nice. A lot of 69Ks in the chat. I have some OCD, so I feel like if I read 69K, I have to say it. 69K, nice. 69K, nice. 69K, nice. So many 69Ks, actually. Beautiful. 69.69K, nice. 420K, nice. Nice. $20 would feel like zero. 20K would feel like zero. And to be fair, if Bitcoin went down to 29K or to 20K, really not much of a difference from zero in terms of feeling. In terms of like what that would feel like emotionally and in terms of the sentiment. Yeah, going down to 20K might as well just go to zero at that point. Because the low of the last bear market, wasn't that like 15K or something? Yeah, the low of the last bear market was 15K. The low of the last bear market was about a 75% drop. If we dropped, let's say we do right now, and we have a 75% drop from here, that would be 31K, 30K roughly. So that would be very painful. But 20K would be even like, that would be insane. I don't think that's very likely, but 15K felt like zero last cycle. It really did, honestly. But I mean, if you look too, what happened when we went to 15K? We went there, 15. It took us a solid 3 to 4 months of trading sideways at like 15 or 16K. So you had an option to buy it there for a long time. It's not like we went down to 15K and immediately bounced to 25K and, oh, you couldn't get it. No, we sat at 15K for like a couple of months. We sat at 15 to 16K for months. And then Gigabounce, beginning of January, from 17 to 24, 25, and then that was the beginning of the run that we're still in. Because really, this is the trend we're still in. I know it feels awfully bearish, but really, the price, it's kind of crazy actually, and everyone's been saying this for the past year, but like, it is kind of crazy. Like, someone said, will I pivot to a health channel like Crypto? Honestly, not a bad idea. Health is really important. Also, Crypto seems like a really healthy guy, so like, to be honest, I would take health advice from him. He seems like he knows a lot about health. But anyway. Yeah, I mean, this is the dumpiest that we've seen so far this uptrend. That was 32%. Actually, it's not. This is not even the biggest pullback of this bull run so far. Going below 85K would be the biggest, or it would be on par with it. Only thing going to 20K is ETH. Oh, cheers. I agree with that. Maybe not for a couple of years, but... Someone said, do I still believe in Citus? I have no idea what that is. Sometimes I like getting comments sometimes of people asking me like, do I still believe in this or whatever? Like, did I say this, whatever? I always think it's really funny when it's things that I have never said or have never bought or have never recommended or have never like promoted ever. So I always think it's funny because it's like I can't tell if it's like a bot or like, it's like I don't even know what that is. Yeah, Crypto does have a health channel, and I'm actually subscribed to it. It's pretty good information, right? Like, Saint said I did on a video. Citus? Let me see. Did I talk about Citus? What is Citus? Let me check on my like the side of my screen where I have all the altcoins that I've ever talked about. I don't think so. Is it still listed? Because I don't see it on the side of my screen at all. Citus? I've talked about other coins that started with S. I don't think I've ever talked about Citus. Ooh, that doesn't look that good though. Jeesh. Well, it's only down 99.8% from all-time highs, so it's not doing too bad. It can still go. I mean, it's only down 99.8%, so that's not too bad. I'm joking, obviously. It quite literally basically couldn't be any worse. If only you knew how bad things are. Could not be any worse. Only 99.8% down. It's a gaming coin. Okay. Oh yeah, you guys remember even probably last year, gaming and AI were like the major topics. That, to be honest, like even the gaming and AI rally wasn't even that strong, and this was like last year, I believe, like middle of 2024. Someone said Citus market cap is 2 million. Yeah, that's like not that much. How is Trump coin doing? Someone said Citus is a scam, don't touch it. I mean, like 99% of altcoins are scams as well, so also don't touch 99% of altcoins. Trump coin as well, obviously, is a scam. Oh wow, on October 10th it also went down 80%. I'm curious because I actually bought like Trump coin like the day it got released or whatever, like everyone else, when everyone was really hype about it. All-time high was like, okay, so yeah, what is Trump coin down now? Only 90%, so again, not too bad. Still could go down another 100%. Or another 90%, but also 100%. Yeah, let's not talk about Citus anymore. I don't know. Nobody wants to talk about that. Oh, Alex Becker said about Citus. 48K is worst case scenario for Bitcoin, says Brightstar. Only down 30%. Guys, we're so back. Is that what Bitcoin is down now? Are we down 30% from all-time highs? Is that where we are? Hello. 25%. That's not too bad. We could go down another 10% and it would be still not even the biggest drop we've seen in the past 2 years on Bitcoin. Trump coin to the moon. True. It was a Trump and dump. Do you shoot par? Oh, golf? No, I'm absolutely garbage at golf. But I like it, and that's all that matters. I'm never going to be a pro at golf. Why do I care if I'm doing good? It's about having fun, right? Is Parsec still alive? Great question. No. What is this chart? What the heck is this? It's only down 99.95%. So I guess you could say that's a W because it's not 100% yet. And in these tough times, only being down 99.9%, we have to be appreciative that it's not down 100% because things just don't look good. Yeah, exactly. I know so many old people that play golf too, and honestly, they're pretty good though. A lot of the old people that I know that play golf are actually like really good at it. Their swings are very consistent, and yeah, golf is like the only sport you can play when you're old, and like it still can be like competitive and fun. Tyler, you need to have more panic. We should all be panicking. True, I agree. We should be panicking. We should be crying, squealing, and screaming right now. Micah said, it's bad when Tyler started doing lives. I mean, that's actually true. Yeah. My goal with this is this, like, I wanted to start doing lives when things looked the worst. And this apparently made it hit my metric of like, this is bad enough. I have to start live streaming. Might as well. My goal is to start live streaming at the bottom. And then my thinking is that live streaming at the top will be fun. Because like if you stream at the actual worst time to stream, like where it just sucks, then it can only go up from there in terms of like having fun and like enjoying it, right? So yeah, things are absolute garbage now. Every metric, even the RSI, even the MACD. the sentiment especially. Somebody said, "Where am I from in the UK?" Is that a convincing? Do I have a convincing British accent? I can only say like a couple words. Anon said, "If you'd stop ego talking, you will learn something. Use the rate tool. Click 27 peak and 2021 peak. Draw resistance line to 2025 peak." Anon, what is that resistance then? Give it to me, bruv. Just tell me, bruv. Don't make me get out the tool. Just tell me. West Kensington pub. Are you having a Guinness? Lose the shirt. You want to see the nips? Let's get the nips. Anon, you just typed those instructions again when you could have just told me a price, dog. You just typed out 7 words. You could have typed out 3 letters. You could have typed out 3 letters, and you're typing whole sentences here. My strategy is simple. Buy the top, sell the dips, always work. British proved. Am I a fan of Lord of the Rings? Oh my gosh. Of course. Are you kidding me? It's crazy. Those movies hold up so well, too. How delayed is my stream? I'm looking at the recap thing on this, and this is like from like 10 minutes ago. Hold on. I have to... Okay, there we go. 125K. I am trying to get you to look at it so you can see. Just look at it, dog. Just look at it. Yeah, extended edition, Lord of the Rings, absolutely dope. The casting was absolutely insane. Just such a good movie. Such a good series. I wasn't like a giant fan of The Hobbit, whatever, like the prequels or whatever the heck it was. But I was actually in San Diego 2 months ago, Jay. It's quite pretty. One thing that's cool about California is the sun sets over the ocean, which is really pretty too. I felt like I was in a Disney Channel movie or something. That's right, Red. The Hobbit equals a bear market, yeah. Tallboy Crypto, shout out, big dog. Notice my losses, Senpai. Bolton. I love the UK. Fish and chips, Guinness. Oh, that's Ireland, I guess. Ireland's part of the UK, right? I don't know. Netherlands sick. You got like bikes everywhere. It's like the #1 biking city. Tokyo has a lot of bikes as well. Absolutely. I'm going to go get a snack. Hopefully the price does something. For now, I'm just going to stream every day around noon or so. Or around 11, 12, 1 p.m. U.S. time, Mountain time. If the prices do something, then I'll hop on. But yeah, right now, honestly, market's kind of boring. If it's not really doing much, which it's not right now. In fact, as I just said, you can see the candle here. This is exactly where I did my entire stream yesterday. It was the exact same price, so it's kind of killing me to watch it literally just be the exact same price as yesterday. Even though we did have a bounce, we're just sitting at 93.2, 93.1, exactly what it was all day yesterday. So I can't keep looking at 93.1, to be honest. I'm going to go insane. But yeah, make sure to click all the buttons, like, subscribe, hit the buttons, turn on notifications, I guess. I don't even know if this is like my 2nd or 3rd live stream in 4 years, so I think the notifications are going out. Pretty sure, but yeah, if something happens, I'm absolutely going to go crazy on these charts, but right now nothing's happening. So make sure to eat your vegetables, get a lot of exercise, tell someone you love them, give someone a smile. Maybe text that girl that you've been afraid to text or something, right? Anon, I've answered like 15 of your questions, dog. What's the point of having subs if I ignore them? I have answered 15 of your questions, my guy. Do you want me to like send you some pics? Like, what do you want from me, bro? Like, do you want me to like get really intimate? Like, how many questions do you want me to respond to? Okay. Do I play chess? Yes, I'm really bad though, but yeah. I'm gonna go get some snacks now, and I absolutely agree. And I hope all of you guys get some snacks.